The Disney downfall is complete. All the Disney celebrities are coming out sad. All the Disney executives are coming out sad. All of the celebrities that go to Disney movies are coming out sad. Disney apologized for being anti-male. Disney is pandering now to men. Disney is apologizing for how they treated men, and no one is having any of it. This is like complete and utter cultural victory on our doorstep. And I am literally so here for it. Absolutely, bro. Media's dead, and we're the media now, so must suck to be them. Now, this is Snoop Dogg. He was on a podcast, and he went mega giga viral, all right? This is a clip that went super viral for all the right reasons. So lock in, boys and girls. Let's hear what Snoop Dogg had to say about Disney. And I'm going to show you Disney being all sad and the giant downfall that they're actually in the middle of having right now. We have seen woke downfalls before, but the woke Jews have taken an L this time. They've taken an L this time, baby. All right, let's see what we got.
I took my grandson to see, what was the movie with Buzz Lightyear?
Toy Story?
Not that one, but
the new Buzz. The Lightyear. I think it's called Lightyear.
Yeah, with Keke Palmer's in that movie.
Okay.
She plays like the daughter. So we watching it, and the lady, which is Kiki's mama,
right?
They move on into the space years. They move down the line. They're like, then she had a baby with a woman.
Oh.
Well, my grandson in the middle of the movie like, Papa Snoop, how she have a baby with a woman? She a woman. Oh, shit.
The diabolical question.
I didn't come in for this shit. I just came to watch the goddamn movie.
Oh.
Hey, man, watch the movie. They just said she and she had a baby. They both women. How did she have a baby? Shh. Movie ain't over with. So it's like, it's fuck me. I'm scared to go to the movies now. Like, y'all throwing me in the middle of shit that I don't have an answer for.
So Snoop Dogg, very clearly, he's like, listen, I don't want to take a stance. I don't actually want to have this conversation. I went to watch a kid's movie, and my daughter's asking me questions that I don't want to have discussions about. You see, Snoop Dogg and I are very different, actually. We not so similar, you and I, because I do have opinions. All right, I'm not just someone that doesn't want to get involved. I'm like, yeah, you're so right. They tried to push satanic agenda down your throat, my child. Tell me more, Daddy. Oh, I will tell you. They want men to grow up without male role models, so they are completely destroying God's order, allowing women to buy children. And yeah, the plan is to obviously traumatize the child. This is obviously the strategy. But this went super viral. 153,000 likes, 12 million views. And realistically, only the retards are mad. So there are a metric ton of people that are calling him homophobic. And I really, I'm sure he doesn't, literally care at all. Now, people are calling him homophobic. They're trying to cancel him. Obviously, it's not going to work. He's like a rapper. You think he gives a shit if a couple 100,000 retards on Twitter call him homophobic? Being called homophobic just means you had the balls to say something that other people are too embarrassed to say themselves, but also at the same time thought. My personal stance on life is a kid needs to grow up with a male and female role model in their life, a father and a mother, ideally. And that is a good thing. And trying to destroy the nuclear family for the sake of, pushing an agenda of some sort is absolutely diabolical and should not be in kids' movies. So, to be honest, this is just a colossal cultural victory. The fact that you have celebrities straight up going out there being like, I do not want to have these conversations with my kids, I'm scared to go to the movies, Disney is pushing shit, is it's literally the fringe conspiratorial theories that we have been saying for years, okay? People like me, the retards on the internet that have been fighting the good fight, we have been the vocal minority. All right? Well, in reality, I do believe it's the majority. It's just a lot of people don't want to say it. A lot of people don't want to, go out, put an opinion out there, and actually, get called homophobic by half of Twitter. No one wants to deal with any of that shit. Realistically, I get it. I personally like dealing with that shit. I get more powerful every time someone calls me an ist or a phobe. All right? You call me a racist, I literally fucking absorb that. Yeah, that's right. Your words mean nothing. They mean literally nothing. So the funniest part is, he's completely correct. That he didn't come in for this shit. I just came to watch the goddamn movie, and more people are feeling that way, and Disney is really feeling the burn. The woke fatigue is real. Leadership at Disney is pressing Hollywood creatives for movies that will bring young men in, ages 13 to 28, aka Gen Z, back to the brand in a meaningful way, specifically original concepts. They have not released a single original concept that actually appeals to men between the age of 13 and 28 that don't want to fuck other men. All right? Realistically, that's what we're doing. Sources say Disney has been seeking new IP and pitches, such as splashy global adventures and treasure hunts, as well as seasonal fare-like films for the Halloween corridor that comes at Star Wars machine struggles to produce any film project in the superhero genre, sheds audience by the minute. Absolutely it does. I'll be real. Well, when's the last time you watched, a Star Wars movie or a superhero movie where there was a strong male character that was awesome and badass and epic and saved the fucking day. And saved the day and saved the woman, and the woman said, wow, you saved me. I love you, bro. And he was like, shh, 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 shh. I'm married. When did we ever see that? Never. Literally never. All right, now, but that would be goated. Now, no one obviously noticed. All right, they're trying so hard to find a way to get the men back because they realize they lost an entire fucking generation of men, and they can't figure out why. Now, this clip went a little bit viral. I saw it on the timeline. I thought it was pretty funny.
Do you want to know how you can get a male audience back? Stop shitting on every single male character.
True.
It's that fucking simple.
That's right. Let's make the new Indiana Jones movie, except Indiana Jones is useless and old and a hobo and gay and pathetic and a cuck. He likes watching from the corner. That's the new guy. All right, let's go, dude. New James Bond movie? Well, let's make sure he gets saved by a woman every second scene. Now, again, obviously I have nothing against women as a whole. I think women are incredibly awesome. In fact, I used to be, this is obviously personal information. I've never really talked about this in public, but I used to be a man trapped in a woman's body. And then my mother gave birth to me. Thank God. Anyway, I wanted to take a look at Disney admitting that its toxic male fans were right all along. So Disney has been trying their absolute best. They've woked into the sun, literally pushing agendas, in my opinion, designed to destroy a generation. And they've tried so hard, and realistically, we're fighting back and we're winning. We are winning the fucking culture war. The culture is shifting. It is Nux age now. Subscribe. Let's up those numbers. All right, let's see what we got.
Well, this was kind of to be expected.
No shit. Yeah, she right. She just right.
Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell.
Hello.
And
I'm here to watch a woman tell me about how Hollywood really sucks at talking to men.
As per usual, before we launch in today's...
I have a lot of opinions that I don't even think Sydney Watson is going to agree with me about some of my opinions in this regard. But she probably does, because I think that, normal people actually do believe the importance of male role models. And Disney has not produced a single one. Literally not one in decades. So no fucking shit, they lost a generation.
Video is sponsored by Fume. And yes, before everybody starts making comments, I did cut my hair. It was just getting so ratty and
I didn't notice, actually.
Really needed a chop. I don't know how I feel about this though.
I didn't notice.
I guess we'll see once.
This is it's my strategy. It's like, did you notice anything different about me? And you just say no. It's the ultimate strategy. It's like, no, I didn't notice anything. I got a haircut. I didn't see anything at all. This is a new dress. Yeah, I literally didn't notice. It looks like your other dresses. This is just how you assert dominance and ruin your relationships. You know what I'm saying?
I wash it myself because I'm not actually the greatest fan of hair salon hair. It's too soft for me. I like my frizzy hair. I like that it's usually poofy and unruly. That's how I like it. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about it, but at least now it's been acknowledged, so we can move on.
Oh, what's with that haircut?
So it seems that
now that I see it in this frame, it's really obvious that it's poofy and unruly.
Friends over at Disney have finally realized that the menfolk are upset with them. I mean, I can't imagine why they wouldn't be, given
to be honest, Disney lost a metric fuck ton of money. All right, they literally lost billions of dollars. Hey, bro! Dude, Snow White, they spent hundreds of millions of dollars on a film that was an absolute catastrophe. And, they released it with the most unlikable, man-hating freak show as the main character. No one wants to see that shit. Bro, if they would have got Sydney Sweeney as Snow White, that would have made $1 billion in a day, okay? They would have literally sent out Snow White. Snow White would have been like, I have good genes, yeah. And that's it, literally over. Literally over. My genes are white. And everyone would have been super vibing. Okay, that sounds a little crazy.
Disney keeps calling them racist and misogynistic because they don't like lesbian space witches.
You don't like lesbian space witches? Well, you must be homophobic and misogynistic. Well, I'm not misogynistic, but I am a little bit homophobic.
Shaming the lads to get their attention is not a winning strategy, Kathleen. So in a strange turn of events, on August 21, 2025, Variety published an article titled, Disney's Boy Trouble. Studio seeks original IP to win back Gen Z men amid Marvel struggles. That was hard to say.
You know what was even harder to say it? Disney. Imagine admitting you're wrong. Now, the entire hierarchy of Disney right now is mentally ill, disturbed, middle-aged, single white women. All right, that is literally the entire Disney staff. It is literally just a small cabal of 50-year-old, single, lonely, depressed, liberal woke white women that are trying to infect a generation where essentially they don't give men any joy to watch their movies or validate them because they hate men, and they also don't give women any aspirations to actually be in a loving relationship because no one will sabotage a woman like an unhappy woman. So I do believe that they have become the fucking creative black hole that we're actually seeing right now. So them admitting that they fucked up and they lost like billions of dollars and they needed to do something about this is a huge maneuver, because no one runs faster than the Flash, aside from a woman running away from accountability, specifically if they are liberal and white. I've noticed this myself due to, you know, much training. The liberal white woman is truly the fastest creature alive.
The article describes how Disney execs have been squeezing Hollywood over the last number of months for original ideas that will bring young men back into the fold.
I have an idea. Take a man, make him awesome, and save the day, and the girls love him, and he's literally awesome, and the girls just love him because he's awesome, and he's kind, and he's strong as fuck, and make him also, like, a gamer. And that's it. That's it. Is the movie gonna be good? No. Will it be seen? Yes. Because you know what? A lot of the boys these days are just people looking for some sort of validation or that their struggles are noticed. This is literally, I think, the majority of teenage boys. People that are having a hard time feeling like they're worth something and having a society that really feels like it's kind of built against them. Just make a story like that, you'll make $1 billion. It's literally that simple.
Specifically, they want Gen Z men back, so those aged between 13 to 28 or thereabouts.
Right.
Yes, that is the same group they have been overtly shaming for the last number of years. Oh, how the turntables.
No, it's good. It's good. You don't understand. They've literally designed their downfall. They've paved the road for this video. They were like, yo, we need to have a cataclysmic downfall so Nuxanor could document it. I document all the downfalls on the internet. Definitely subscribe. Let's up those numbers.
The article also describes how Gen Z men are lonely, gaming obsessed, and have been ruined by the COVID-19 lockdowns.
I wonder why that happened. I wonder why there was a COVID-19 lockdown. I wonder what demographic was largely at fault for this happening. I wonder what demographic of people was the major voter force for the people that locked people up for COVID. I wonder, it's the liberal white women every time.
Making them a difficult group to appeal to. What a charitable description. But that...
Yeah, true. You should make gaming obsessed people like actually goated. All right, you do that and it'll be that simple. Because you know what? Video games aren't going to betray you. Well, they might, but if the big companies decide to stab you in the ass. But video games aren't going to betray you. You know what will betray you? Every single woman you approach that decides to video you and put you on social media. Though they will betray you. And they were trained. They were fucking trained by movies that you created to propagandize them into betraying you. Every single movie has the fucking douchebag guy that secretly hates women, and the badass girl boss that's so much happier going at it alone. This is literally the classic archetype of women and men that you are pushing. You are pushing the propaganda that makes men not want to do things other than play video games in their house alone, where you can't touch them with your propaganda. And, you know, I mean, realistically, then you decided to make Concord.
That hasn't stopped Disney from looking for original material, despite its ownership of two massively male-oriented franchises.
Imagine owning two of the biggest male-oriented franchises on the planet. You know, Marvel and Star Wars, and turning it into girly pop, girl boss, gay shit to the point that you literally have no men fans anymore. Like, it is so fucking sad.
And Star Wars. Disney has also recently bought a $1.5 billion with a B dollar stake in the game Fortnite, which it will use to incorporate its own characters. Right. So if Disney has access to all of these male-orientated things, then why is it struggling to get men to show up? Well, pretty simply, it's because for years Disney has decided to lecture its audience rather than entertain them. Once again,
I took my daughter to Disney, Buzz Lightworm, as they call him, and there was a woman that was married to another woman and had a baby with another woman. How am I gonna explain that to my kids? He's so right. He's literally fucking correct. He's so correct. Disney was not supposed to be a battleground lecturing people on bullshit, propagandizing and pushing garbage. Oh my god, homophobia! Well, wake up, princess. All right, wake up and welcome to the real world. All right, no one actually feels the need to, no one wants Disney to be propagandizing people. All right, you have parents with values that want to teach their kids their values. Leave that to the parents to teach their children. Okay, it's not up to Disney to lecture people, or people are gonna stop watching Disney. What? No. They will. They literally will. And I think, by the way, a lot of people talk about how anime got a lot more mainstream. A lot of people say COVID is what made anime get so much more mainstream. People were locked at home, needed more forms of entertainment. I really think that the number one thing that drove people to watching anime is the fact that Western media literally panders to gay men and women. That is literally who the target audience is for Western television. All right, so people moved to actual male-focused stories. Bro, you look at something like Naruto. Naruto is an anime that ended like 10 years ago, and it is still one of the most searched TV shows on the planet today. Okay, you know why? Because it's a story about a 12-year-old kid who, and life came at him hard, and he had no parents, and he worked hard, and he made something of himself, and he ended up becoming the fucking GOAT. He ended up becoming the ninja president, loved by everyone, and saved the world. And you know what? People are loving that story today, even though the show ended a decade ago. Naruto had a bigger cultural impact, in my opinion, on Gen Z than Breaking Bad. All right? And every Star Wars movie combined after the original trilogy. And for whatever reason, people don't want to acknowledge that it's literally just about this kid, this boy, who had life come at him hard and worked hard to make something of himself and be respected by everyone, and the girls fell in love with him, all right? For whatever reason, they don't want to acknowledge that you write a story that's designed to make men feel powerful that is inherently attractive to men viewers. And they don't want to touch it, and that's why anime is fucking mainstream now, all right? And that's why you have normies that are going to call you a pedophile if you watched My Hero Academia because there's a bathing scene in season 3, all right? Now, I'll be real, it upsides and downsides, but this is the reality.
Again, not a winning strategy. They push DEI
There
and
it is.
corporate feminism
Like,
into...
why? Literally, why would you even do this if it's not about the agenda? They make believe it's not about the agenda. It's about telling real stories. Fucking bullshit. It's not about telling real stories. Everything's about the agenda. A to Z is the agenda at this point. You are literally a propaganda machine. Why do you think people watch YouTubers instead of TV shows now? Because TV shows are just lectures. Sanitized bullshit.
franchises built for men.
You know what you could never say in a TV show? I'm going to tell you something right now you can never hear in a TV show. Liberal white women are the bane of Western civilization. I just said it. You know what? You will never hear anyone, even a villain, say that in an actual TV show that comes out the clandestine, pristine asshole of the Hollywood shit tube. And it's literally not gonna happen.
Blamed fans when their films and shows flopped, and now they're scrambling to win back Gen Z guys who just aren't interested in seeing the same slop handed to them over and over and over again. When they bought Marvel in 2009 and Lucasfilm in 2012, they knew these were gold mines for male audiences.
Yes, sir.
Iron Man was blowing up at the time in a good way, and Star Wars' already decently long legacy had proved it was a major hit with male viewers.
I mean, you look at the Iron Man movie. The first Iron Man movie was about some super genius playboy philanthropist stuck in a cave, and despite the fact that the world was against him, he managed through fucking rocks and shit to build some super suit to take down and fucking obliterate terrorists. With all due respect, that's it, bro. Male power fantasy? Yes, sir. Absolutely. And look what it is now. When's the last time we had a character like that? And I can tell you, because I have seen the last couple of Marvel movies, actually, because, you know, I have a theater right next to the house, and what can I say? Their popcorn is really good. So, you know, and it's a nice night out, all right? I'll be real. And I'll be honest, there is not a single decent male character in any of these movies. None of them. Literally none of them. New Fantastic Four, you have Reed Bitchards in charge of the Fantastic Four, talking about and mumbling through his fucking, you know, slop. All right, Thunderbolts was the other big one. A lot of people said Thunderbolts was good. There were 2 male characters in all of Thunderbolts. All right, no, there were 3. One is a rapist that his wife left him. Okay, one is a mentally retarded child mind trapped in an adult body. All right, that's literally sitting there having mental seizures and fucking spasms, and it's his spasms that is causing chaos throughout the world. And the third one is a drunk, fat, racist Russian man that's the dad of Black Widow or whatever, and he's fucking hilarious, don't get me wrong, but he is a complete and abject life failure. Those are the only 3 male characters in the entire movie. And I could do this for every single one of them. Every one.
With lightsabers and space battles, fun and interesting storylines, and importantly, no psycho overt political lecturing. But somewhere...
And the beauty is, Star Wars is super political. If you actually care about the lore of Star Wars, the politics are fucking brilliant. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. I was radicalized because when I was a kid, I thought the Jedi were the good guys. And the more I fucking see how cringe society is, the more I start rooting for the fucking Imperials. That's right, baby. Empire's the GOAT. Sidious is amazing. Cryo Sidious every 4 years.
Along the way, Disney decided that it was a great idea, the greatest idea, to effectively rebrand these franchises.
Rebrand is a nice term. The term I prefer is neuter.
Making it very clear that one of their primary objectives was to have more women, more diversity, and more female-led stories. And behind the scenes, hiring more women into high-ranking roles within the company. And they very quickly set about putting these plans in motion. I just have to remind you.
Pretty weird. Again, imagine a fucking briefing room of 40 to 60-year-old liberal woke Karens deciding the art that will be produced by the fucking generation in America. Yep, that's where we are today.
Mind you all of Kathleen Kennedy running around in her Force's female shirt. I'm not so sure about that, Kathleen. When The Force Awakens was released in 2015, a lot of people were really excited about new Star Wars.
By the way, I remember when this was coming out, I was excited. And I was like, yeah, it didn't even register that it's like the main character of the next Star Wars movie is going to be a girl. I didn't care. It was so irrelevant to me. I literally didn't care. I was like, oh my God, it's Hermione's actress. I literally did not give a flying fuck. But now every time I see a female main character in a male-based, in a male-focused franchise, I know it's propaganda. And it's sad, but it's true. You actually should be judging books by their cover.
Content. But right out of the gate, it was clear that this was a different kind of Star Wars. Not only was the lead protagonist a woman called Rey, which, by the way, ordinarily is completely fine.
Yeah, no one cared until it came out and it was actual dog shit.
Star Wars featured our girl Leia, for goodness sake. But Rey, to a lot of viewers, turned out to be a decently unlikable Mary Sue. She was
a complete and utter bitch, which is exactly the propaganda being pushed on women by Hollywood. They tell you, be unlikable, never, fucking cave on any argument, on any issue. You're always right. You're a girl boss. You don't need no man. It's better to be alone. And that's literally what they pushed with Rey. And that's, I think, what turned so many people off. It has nothing to do with the fact that she's a woman. It's the fact that she's unbelievably unlikable in every way. And in my opinion, a terrible role model for women.
Surrounded by incompetent male characters.
True.
Absolutely nobody is a bigger Rey disrespecter than me. I dislike her on a philosophical level.
Yes!
This kind of set the tone for what was to come.
Dude, I love Sydney Watson videos. She absolutely cooks.
Pain. When the 2017 Last Jedi hit cinemas, fans were confused to see Luke Skywalker, the primary protagonist from the original trilogy.
What a hero. I'm sure that he did really badass things and he didn't just suckle milk from the teat of a walrus, right?
Had turned into a grumpy hermit who tossed his lightsaber like it was rubbish. In interviews, Disney execs made it clear that their objective was to attract more women to the franchise and make everything more woman-friendly.
That's right, baby.
So, of course, we ended up with shows like The Acolyte in 2024, which highlighted twin sisters, diverse Jedi, and Force-sensitive dinosaurs and lesbian space witches?
Yes, sir. Power of many.
What's puzzle? Is he or they with us?
She almost misgendered Basil the dinosaur.
Ultimately, we did end up with a series of unlikable female characters like Vice Admiral Emmeline Holdo. I hope I said that correctly. I don't think I've ever said that out loud. I've just read it a bunch of times. Protagonists who really felt like some sort of, weird
some sort of psyop, some sort of actual psychological operation to convince people that this is what society should look like. Yes, because it was. Because it literally was.
Insert from someone in the writing room. She even has the purple hair. These people are never living down that stereotype. Never.
True.
On the plus side, you know who has a stereotype?
On the plus side, Lizzo. Any further questions? Definitely subscribe. Not my best joke. Not my best work, but it's up there. It's absolutely up there. Like with the whole theme, the whole idea, you know, like the DEI hire, like kind of, you know, woke. All right, never mind.
Type of actually being pretty great. Vtube, the sponsor of today's video. Given that the Star Wars audience was and continues to be majority male.
Yeah, no shit. Dude, they're literally about space ninja wizards with laser swords, okay? And dude, they have that whole priest vibe. Like, you know, the don't get married thing. Like, they're actual fucking space wizard priests. This is like the ultimate. This is what Warhammer 40K could have been if they actually cared.
Decisions just.
Dude, they need to make. That's why I keep saying that Warhammer 40K is their only chance. Like, if they actually turn Warhammer 40K into some giga buffed, oozing masculinity franchise, it could literally save all of Hollywood.
Didn't make a lot of sense. And no, it's not because men refuse to watch female characters or don't want to watch female characters. It's because they prefer those of the well-written variety. A flavor of protagonists that seems to be very lacking.
Also, men really don't like women that are like bitches. Like, I know this is like, I don't mean to disrespect anybody, but men really don't like women that are just like narcissistic, self-centered bitches that feel like they can do anything themselves and don't need men. It's like they tell men that you do need women because if without women you'd be fucked, but women don't need men. And this is like an objective untruth about the world, and no man wants to see that shit. Literally none. Absolutely none. It's like the woman can't show emotion because that plays into the stereotypes that women are emotional. Well, guess what, motherfucker? Women are emotional. Women are emotional. It's a fact. It's a biological fact. It's not an insult. Oh my God, Nux, you're so misogynistic. You say women actually cry? Fuck yes, they cry. A lot more than men. I'll be real. Yes, I've seen it.
In today's Hollywood, they have girl boss too close to the sun. There's also the fact that Star Wars hasn't released a film since 2019, but has in fact churned out a bunch of reasonably terrible shows.
True.
And that's certainly a choice. But then there's Marvel. After Endgame in 2019, which made $2.7 billion by being everyone's movie, Marvel leaned hard into what fans often call the MCU. 2022 She-Hulk was focused on courtroom drama and women-orientated issues, and the
Bro, and it also shat on all the men. Like, let's not forget that aside from it being just absolute slop, no direction, slop, terrible show, it literally was designed to shit on men. The whole concept was she was able to control her Hulk form immediately, unlike, you know, our favorite Bruce Banner Hulk, because unlike men, women are perpetually controlling their anger. So she's immediately good at it. Like, it's just like the subtle jabs of how women are just like so much more emotionally put together than men, which again, I'm not gonna, okay.
The Hulk thing was much more secondary. Hulk himself was also positioned as weaker than Jennifer, the girl Hulk,
for some
those
reason.
of you who don't know, as she picked up skills almost immediately and could absolutely thrash him around with very little effort.
Yeah, an actual disrespect to, you know, the character that we grew to love for fucking years, and also another classic example of absolute bullshit. Now, again, I know that these are green people, they're not humans, but again, I'm not trying to be rude here, biologically, because we're all living in the same world. Sometimes I don't feel that way, but we're all living in the same world. Men are just stronger than women. This is also a biological fact. You know, like that's why there are literally league divisions in boxing. So I don't have women boxers versus men boxers because the men would literally fucking kill the women. Which again, I don't support. Actually, I take it back. I actually do support it. Every person that wants trans people in female sports, I propose we abolish the entire divide between genders. Just free for all. Anyone can enter if you want. You want in? You go in. Sign a life waiver, though.
Let's not forget this speech.
Here's the thing, Bruce. I'm great at controlling my anger. I do it all the time. When I'm catcalled in the street.
That's right. That's women. Women out there controlling their anger like fucking pros. I've never even seen a woman lose composure. It's true, actually. It's a true fact. I've never seen a woman lose composure due to just how constantly composed they are. You know, it's an entire history. Cat called on the street. And listen, if they were in Europe, the cat calls start when they're like 12 years old. So, I mean, because obviously, you know, you're importing pedophiles into the country. So, you know, obviously there, like, the women are even more composed at a younger age.
When incompetent men explain my own area of expertise to me, I do it pretty much.
What about incompetent women? Incompetent women never explain, oh, no, it's only men. Men are bad. Men are just constantly just bad at everything. Right. Yeah, and that's it, bro.
Every day, because if I don't, I will get called emotional or difficult or might just literally get murdered. So I'm an expert at controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you.
She sounds pretty angry to me. I don't know if this is true, but she sounds pretty angry just from like a normal, like polite conversation. Is it just me, or is it possible? No, I'm not. Again, I am not a woman, so how dare I even propose to suggest what's going on inside the mind of women? But is it possible? Because as we could see, she got angry from like a normal conversation. Is it possible that she's kind of training herself to specifically get angry at things that really you shouldn't be angry about? Like, is it possible that mansplaining is not even a real thing, but it only exists in women's mind, and then they have to create this narrative of mansplaining to basically make themselves feel better that they got pissed off at something that realistically is not a big deal? Is that possible? Like, is it possible that when a woman is walking around in public outside half naked in a bikini and a man looks at their boobs, it's kind of their fault for walking around half naked in a bikini? And if they would be walking around in like normal clothes, a man would not be staring at their boobs? Would that be possible? No. I take it all back. I remove those questions retroactively. Your Honor, strike it all from the record. Strike it from the record. We don't want any of that. We don't want any of that in the public. Your Honor, strike all of it from the record. Okay, this is important. Strike it all. Obviously, this is not the case. Obviously not.
I do it infinitely more than you do. Have you met men? Do you know how much testosterone they have? Especially a giant green one?
Hey, biology has nothing to do with this!
No, lady, men have to go and, like, live in mine shafts. I don't think you're that hard done by.
That sucks.
The Marvels in 2023
this was the fucking nightmare.
Tanked at the box office, and even Fantastic Four First Steps this year with Pedro Pascal and Vanessa Kirby just didn't stick. And while it was better than what a lot of people were expecting, it just didn't hit like a Marvel film used to.
I mean, again, not trying to be rude here, because I thought this was like a fine, 6.5, 7 out of 10 movie, which is like I used to be upset about that, but like with Marvel, it's like you expect a 3. Again, if you just look at the male characters in this movie, okay?
Pedro Pascal.
All right, so Pedro Pascal was like a whimpering, blathering idiot that essentially didn't do anything. He was muttering to himself about, I can't believe the entire world is going to be destroyed, and it's kind of my fault, and I feel so bad about it. All right, cool. And then she's like, snap out of it, Pedro Pascal. You're the smartest man that I know. We'll come up with something together. And she gives some emotional speech and everyone listens to him. All right.
And
then you look at the next group. All right. So then there's this guy, right? This is the Human Torch guy. Human Torch did fucking nothing. Human Torch literally did nothing. He translated an alien language to try to riz a woman who basically didn't listen. And then when he wanted to do like this big self-sacrifice, she did it instead. He didn't even do the self-sacrifice. She kind of just took all that glory all by herself. The world was saved by 2 women. It was saved by a female Silver Surfer and by Sue Storm, who
Fantastic Four First Steps this year with Pedro Pascal.
And Sue Storm over here because she literally has stronger psychic powers than Galactus in this movie. If you know anything about Marvel lore, you know how bullshit that is. Right, this is a guy that's older than the universe that destroys planets with the thought, and she literally overpowered him in one-on-one combat. Galactus, like literally the Marvel Endgame boss. So again, it's the same slop. It's repackaged, and they tried to make believe it was like about a family story, but realistically, it's pushing a family story where the women are the girl bosses that make the decisions and do all the epic glory things, and the men are kind of wet paper bags. They get pushed around from time to time, always kind of feeling sorry for themselves. Like, it is propaganda. It's just slightly less overt propaganda.
And Vanessa Kirby just didn't stick. And while it was better than what a lot of people were expecting, it just didn't hit like a Marvel film used to. It goes without saying, but Marvel's audience is also majority male. But here as well, there has been a massive push to have more female characters and more female-led stories.
I wonder why.
In an effort to fix something. That
I'm really glad you don't. Yes, what are you trying to fix? That's why I call it the neutering of Marvel. Yeah. What are they trying to fix? They're trying to fix men.
Like I said with relation to Star Wars, I definitely think the same thing applies here with Marvel. There are a bunch of female superheroes that men really like.
True.
So it's really less about the women themselves and more the agonizing way that they're portrayed. She-Hulk, Captain Marvel, the Marvels, that's just a handful of movies out of many. It's like either the actress themselves is completely insufferable.
I don't know. The reason why this is like hilarious is because, look, I watched X-Men as a kid. Like, literally, most of the coolest X-Men were women, right? Storm was probably my favorite character. Wolverine obviously was awesome. Little short dude, little Vegeta-looking motherfucker. But, like, obviously, it's not that people hate women. It's that people like women, especially if they are womanly and not trying to exist in this weird, modern socio-politicized climate about how women need to be presented as epicer than men. Like, you know, people like reality a little bit. People don't want propaganda.
Or the way that the female protagonist is written is insufferable. And that becomes so obvious when you juxtapose these new wave of films with old films that feature a female protagonist that everybody liked and loved. I've talked about this in detail in previous videos, and I'm always hesitant to go over old ground, but just to reiterate, a well-written character is more important than focusing on the sex of a character and making that the primary plot point, like the primary focal point. And it seems that modern Hollywood is so preoccupied with having any woman that they've forgotten to produce women who have actual personality traits, who have struggles and flaws and feel things and experience life. But hey, driving things into the ground is actually not new for Disney at all, and they have been fumbling male-orientated stories for decades. Fun fact,
True.
Back in the early 2000s, they tried to appeal to boys with two animated gems, Treasure Planet and Atlantis, the Lost Empire.
Yeah, I
By the
remember
way,
these.
I'm going to say this ahead of time, Treasure Planet is probably my favorite Disney film.
Huge, massive L. Like, unbelievable L. Like, I've heard some L's in my time. This is up there. That's pretty bad. Like, I like Treasure Planet, but, like, what are we talking about?
Just love it. I think it's so cute, and I'm so sad with what they did to it. Anyway, Treasure Planet was a sci-fi treasure island with a rebellious team lead, perfect for young guys, and this like older cyborg guy who, you know, is sort of like this daddy figure that I'm sure a lot of guys, you know, could relate to.
True.
Okay, not only that, but the film is also absolutely beautiful, and it deals
True.
with a lot of male-orientated themes that are, I have to imagine, for boys and men, very relatable. You can't tell me that you've watched the montage of Jim and John Silver and the mysterious dad character and not felt something. This movie speaks to all the
great
boys
movie.
who just wanted to
Dude,
hug them.
it's so funny because, like, old Disney, literally, they had gold. They literally had gold in their hands, and they traded it in for propaganda. They fucking sold out so bad.
And to me, apparently, for reasons that are inexplicable. But even with all of this, even all these factors, it completely flopped. Like, absolutely fell out of bed, making $109 million on a $140 million budget. And there's a lot of speculation that this was done deliberately as an excuse to move away from 2D animation and make way for new projects, which I watched a 2-hour video that someone made about why this movie was deliberately capsized, and I'll link it in the description if you guys are interested, because it really bothers me.
That's crazy. I never heard that conspiracy theory, dude. Wait, what? She didn't link it in the description. She didn't link it in the description. Okay.
Atlantis similarly was a steampunk adventure with a nerdy male hero and an attractive female protagonist.
Yeah.
And again, this was a great, engaging story that is visually beautiful. But this, too, barely cleared its $120 million budget. So you might be asking, why did these two movies, if they're so good, fall in a heap? Well, Disney barely marketed them. No Happy Meal toys, no big push, unlike their princess films, which seem to get all of the love.
Yeah,
There's
true.
this widely held belief that these movies
And
were...
again, even the princess film, the women were womanly characters. Like, they were, you know, feminine characters. Like, you don't have to look so far. It's not like saying, but we always had female protagonists. Yeah, but if you look at those female protagonists, they were feminine female protagonists, as opposed to, like, these androgynous masculine bitches that feel like everyone in the world owes them everything.
Are actually just deliberately set up to fail. Like, Disney didn't believe in stories for boys and couldn't be bothered putting effort into them when it had done so well with its female-led adventures. And yeah, now they're cult classics for those who enjoy a bit of nostalgia, but back then, dead on arrival. And it's not like Disney hadn't seen success before with male-orientated stories like The Lion King,
True.
which then knocked it
Lion
out
King still goated.
of the park, but continues to be one of the most popular Disney films to date. Everybody loves a good daddy story.
True.
Oh, just the girls on Book Talk? My mistake. The Book Talk ladies need all kinds of therapy. Anyway,
The Book Talk ladies need a husband. They all need husbands. Every single one of them. It's absolutely diabolical. They're retarded.
this pattern of making a guy-focused story and then starving it shows that Disney's never been all that good at speaking to men. It seems like, in large part, and I could be wrong here, I'm prepared to be wrong here,
Maybe.
it feels like, though, that they preferred making fairy tales and princess stories that spoke more to women. But what's weird is that now with Marvel and Star Wars and even Indiana Jones on the books,
no excuses.
Why are you repeating the same mistakes? Why keep...
They're not mistakes. Because they're deliberate, because it's deliberate propaganda, because that it is the culture war is actually a war, believe it or not, in my opinion. It is like actually legitimately a battle for the future, and they've won so much ground, mostly to the fault of the pussies that didn't fight back at the beginning. And absolutely, it should have been fought back immediately. And unfortunately, you know, people didn't want to ruffle any feathers, and it kind of just happened. I really feel like we gotta keep fighting viciously. That's like, I see so many people saying that the Cracker Barrel logo change thing is like, why are we talking about it? They removed the white guy from the logo. Who fucking cares? No! Zero tolerance policy. Fuck you. Absolutely fuck you. None of this shit. Propagandizing a generation. That's what Hollywood did.
Doing this over and over and over again despite knowing how to fix it. Gen Z men might...
Dude, every time I see someone say they, them in a Hollywood film or, like, ask for pronouns or, you know, literally any of this shit, like, none of that should be... I don't want any of that in these movies. I literally don't want it, like, normalized in society. I don't, okay? I literally do not want it normalized. So, from my perspective, zero fucking ground given back. None! Nada! We fight to the end. It matters.
Be a difficult demographic in some ways for Hollywood and studios, but I think the reality here is that human experience transcends age and time, which is why we can tell stories with the same themes and morals over and over and over again and have everyone across time periods still relate to them. Gen Z is also increasingly more and more right-wing as a cohort, which means that Disney...
Yeah, largely, I think, thanks to the fucking radicalization by the retards. Like, dude, men really feel disenfranchised and feel like no one actually cares about them. And to some large extent, they're correct. Because for so long, literally everyone was shitting on men. Because men were all the problems with the world. And now with, like, super feminine movement. And I'm not even talking about, like, the original feminist movement. I mean, like, modern fucking... you know, dystopia feminism, where men are essentially useless creatures only existing for their sperm to create more women, and women are like the driving force of everything, purely because of propaganda. Like, it's not even true, but it's purely for propaganda purposes. And, you know, men feel shitty. And that's why men will fall down every fucking rabbit hole, like kids, teenagers especially. I think teenage boys will fall down every rabbit hole they can. We're living in a generation where, you know, father figures are absent because feminism is pushing women to get divorced. You get a divorce rate of over 50%, all right? So you get women getting divorced, raising their kid alone, no father figure to be had. All right, now you have kid with no father figure getting propagandized. So they have two options. Option one, they fall down the absolute cuck path and become a fucking woke white dude for Harris, or they go the rebellion path, which I think is more and more likely, and they end up some places where, you know, kids very likely would not, you know, as a parent, you wouldn't want your kid to be there. All right, listen, either you get groomed on Roblox or you become the Roblox groomer. These are the options. And you end up finding yourself in chat rooms you don't want to be. It's a absolute tragic, heartbreaking war that is being waged, in my opinion, an actual psychological war that has been being waged for years, and we have to wake people up and fight back. We do. And it's not like it's look, man, I take my pot shots at the liberal white women, but that's mostly just because they're like incredibly woke, like as a metric, and they are the primary voting force for the woke shit. I don't think it's any group specifically or anything like that. But I do think it is malicious, and I do think that it is destructive, and I do think we have to fucking take it back. We have to fight for our values and for our culture, and it's literally slipping. So shout out to the boys of the next generation that are gonna stand up and fight for us and for our civilization, because they are being radicalized, and we got to do our very best to pray that they are successful in their victory.
Disney's aggressive political messaging just isn't going to fly. And that's something that they can't seem to deal with. These are guys who want heroes they can root for, stories that feel authentic.
That's why you need Warhammer 40k. I'm telling you, bro, if they made Warhammer 40k live action, balls to the walls, full budget, Game of Thrones level budget, it would literally break the world. It would break and change the world. And they're scared. Warhammer 40k is just an example, but I really believe it.
Protagonists who are both likable, relatable, and extraordinary. And honestly, now that I'm actually thinking about it, I think maybe Gen Z men also want to see men who are not being downtrodden and shamed just for being men. They want to see kind of the inverse of what's been happening to them over the last number of years.
That's why I use Naruto as an example, because it's probably the most simplistic storyline ever. That's just, it works. You have a kid who, for whatever reason, was dealt a shit hand, all right? No parents. People think of him, look down at him, right? Now, you think of your average, white kid in America, like your average kid in America, right? Growing up in a divorced home with no dad present. For whatever reason, society is shunning him because, he's white and privileged. Even though he's literally broke and alone with no father figure, he's still considered privileged. And society is shunning him. And this person makes something of himself, becomes the ninja president, loved by everyone, and saves the world, and marries the girl that always did secretly love him. Dude, literally, that is everything every guy wants to see in television. It literally is. Especially like when it comes to like teenage stories, like targeting teenage audiences. That is what you need to do to teach these guys that despite the hand that you were dealt, you get up, you fight back, and you make something of yourself, and you will win at life, and you'll be loved and respected by everyone. And you know what? I think that honestly, they're scared. They're scared to give that message to young men, because those young men are going to grow up, and they are going to want to try their best to make something of themselves. And I think that we're living in a generation where they're scared of that, and they're trying to cuck an entire generation of men.
Is. So, of course, they don't want movies that feel like a corporate diversity checklist.
True.
But Disney has spent years calling its male critics toxic and racist instead of actually listening. It has turned its media properties into a DEI lecture hall that young men don't relate to whatsoever. And the box office repeatedly backs this up. The Marvels, Dial of Destiny, Fantastic Four all underperformed with male audiences. Star Wars hasn't had a movie in 7 years, and fans call Disney Plus shows like The Acolyte a sign of creative bankruptcy.
Well, it was hot garbage.
So Disney's response to all of that? Blame the fans.
That's it, baby.
Backward.
Liberal white woman running away from accountability challenge. Literally impossible difficulty. They will never ever take that. They will run. The Flash cannot outrun a liberal white woman when she is on the opposite side of the road as accountability. Look at her go. God damn. Yeah, obviously blame the racists and the misogynists instead of realizing that you make dog shit content that kids don't want to see.
Or misogynistic and never actually look inward to identify the issue. The thing is, and I think this is actually pretty funny.
As one of the greatest male role models in television history once said, look inward. Uncle Iroh, okay? The actual GOAT. And that's what it's all about. That was a powerful male role model. And when's the last time we had an Uncle Iroh in Western television? We didn't. We literally didn't.
Gen Z is not disinterested in consuming media. They're just disinterested in consuming the media that Disney keeps churning out.
Literally 100% true. The Gen Z is still, consuming media. Now, the media is YouTubers that are actually, real humans instead of lobotomized corporate suits that are pushing agendas down their throats. So there's the rise of social media. There is also indie video games, which I think is taking a massive shit on the market right now. And there is properties from around the world. Anime is fucking massive right now. Literally huge. Dude, China will come out with gacha games where essentially it's just a fucking gambling simulator where you put in money and hopefully you gamble and win a sexy anime girl in your video game. Okay? And it works. It literally works because it is a product designed to make men happy. That is the whole purpose. Okay, I mean, to make money. But literally, the target audience is men, and they're trying to make men happy. And that is it. That is it. No one wants to go to this corporate sludge pile. And that's why it keeps losing.
They went to see the Minecraft movie, which I think did over $1 billion. They went to see Sonic the Hedgehog, which I learned previously. I made fun of that in another video, and then a bunch of you in the comments were like, Sydney, we love that film. So I don't know. I guess there's like a...
Sydney's audience, autistic children confirmed. That was a joke, obviously. Also, autistic adults.
A Sonic fan club or something. Maybe like bronies, but less upsetting. I love that I just keep digging this Sonic the Hedgehog
this is
hole
not
deeper
working
and deeper.
for you.
I've gone ahead and compared you guys to bronies now.
Absolutely diabolical.
I'm sure you're gonna fight me in the comments. So the question is, why did these films do so well? And I think the answer to that is very simple and straightforward. It's because they're fun, they're engaging, there's a little bit of a nostalgia element there, nothing feels forced, and importantly, there's no lectures.
Yeah.
This is probably also why the Top Gun remake,
Yeah.
is it a remake? Remake sequel that came out recently did insanely well with the boys. Because fighter jets and speed. The airplane kind, not the snort it in a bathroom on a Saturday night with a guy named Josh that you just met 5 minutes ago kind. These other
That was oddly specific.
studios
All right.
weren't out to preach. They were out to entertain. I know, crazy, right? Which is a totally common sense thing to do because at the end of the day, these entertainment companies are still companies that need to make money to survive.
Yeah, the funniest thing is, like, when I think of successful superhero movies, like, in the last 5 years, I think the only one I can really think of is Deadpool. And that was just because it was about dudes being dudes. It wasn't even, like, a great movie. Like, dude, it wasn't even a great movie. The plot was kind of shit. It really was. But it was literally just dudes being dudes. The boys together against the world. The boys against the world. That was the entire plot. It made fucking money. And because that's just it, bro.
I'm no CEO, but I'm pretty sure that extending your middle finger to 50% of the population so hard that you pull a muscle is probably not great business practice.
I completely disagree. Keep doing it. Keep digging your hole deeper. That's it. I want the pendulum to swing back so fucking hard it will break your pelvis. So yeah, please keep pulling the pendulum more, because the more you pull the pendulum one way, the more radical it'll swing the other direction. And that's what we fucking need right now.
And that's what's so bizarre about all of this. It makes no financial sense to tell the vast majority of moviegoers not to come and see your movies, but
What if it's not about the finances? What if it's not about the money? What if it's about the message? I've been having this like inner dialogue for so long, bro. Literally for so long. I've been beating myself up over this. I really have. And I really have come to this conclusion that they're not doing it for money, right? Concord released with fucking slob graphics of fat women lesbians out there playing some sort of hero shooter. Obviously that failed miserably. And then, you know, China releases Marvel Rivals with sexy characters and they make billions. Like, you literally just look at the side by side and it's so obvious. The obvious aspect of life is the fact that they're not doing it for money. They are doing it for the message. I don't know if they're funded by some creepy government NGO. I don't know if it's literally being manipulated by nefarious forces trying to push satanic agendas to literally fuck our entire people. I don't know what it is, if it's some mass indoctrination to literally herd us into a specific direction based on how we vote, so who can control the country, and et cetera, and it's just backfiring right now. I don't know the answer. Exactly, obviously. You're gonna have your some people are just gonna take the easy route and be like, oh my god, I can't believe the woke Jews are doing it. Listen, man, I don't know what it is. You know what I do know? I could give you like 30 different theories, but I know it's happening. I do know it's happening.
By insulting and demeaning them. The only conclusion that one can reach here is that Disney's adherence to socio-political messaging has literally made them stupid and or crazy.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think Sydney Watson hasn't been in this battle as long as I have. These decisions that they make objectively don't make sense from a perspective of making money. If the goal is literally just... That's why it can't be the Jews, because if it was the Jews doing it, then obviously they would care about the money first, and the message is second. So Jew theory debunked immediately. But more likely, to be honest, it's obviously that's not the case. They're not doing it for the money. They're not doing it for the money, because every time they do this, it literally fails. Every time. They wasted $60 million on Concord and Dragon Age the Veilguard and all these fucking woke video games. The more and more you see it happen, the more and more you realize that there is something nefarious going on. And it is about the agenda. It is about the fucking, I don't know, cult mentality.
Their writing rooms apparently could have doubled as padded cells. Disney had in its possession, it still has it in its possession, brands that naturally appeal to men down to their core. War, superpowers, stopping the bad guys. These are all things that grab men's attention.
True.
Of course, these things can appeal to some women too, and they do, but statistically speaking, this is what the majority of men will open their wallets for, whether it's tickets or merch or concerts or live events or whatever. How many women do you think own top quality lightsabers versus men? I
Great
will bet
question.
all the remaining hairs on my head that it's men.
Yeah, that's a good
by an
question.
entire continent. Disney's decision to plant anti-masculine messages in masculine-based entertainment in order to try to attract more
Laser swords are definitely a 95-5 male to female split. It has to be. There's no way.
women is mind.
I'm gonna even take this a step further. I don't know a single man that has never owned a lightsaber. Like, this includes even as a kid getting like a little stupid fucking one that you pull out. Like, I don't know a single person that hasn't. I don't know a single man that has never owned a lightsaber. Lightsabers for men are Barbie dolls for women.
Flowing when you stop to think about it. Women gravitate towards entertainment that deals with relational intrigue, stories where people are tangled in intense situations with one another.
Gossip, drama, slop. That's what women like. Not saying it's bad or good or whatever, but it is. Men are a lot more focused on physical type stories. Women tend to be more drawn to emotional type stories. Obviously, there's overlap. Obviously, everyone likes a mix. But realistically, that's just a fact. Okay, it is. It is. Now, I'll be real. I will sit to watch something with a woman, and something gory happens, and we literally have to stop because it's too gruesome. And this is horrible because I love gruesome shit. Okay, I love it when it's a little bit gruesome, but not everyone does apparently.
Women flock to things like,
and then I turn on fucking, Gossip Girl, XO. Who is the girl that's actually writing and publishing the secrets about the relationships of her classmates? And I literally want to kill myself.
Romance films and period dramas, rom-coms.
You see, it's called period dramas because once a month. Okay, no, that's a discussion for another day.
And reality television, and even true crime and documentaries, podcasts and things.
Oh my god, dude! I did not know there were this many detective shows until I actually was in a relationship. Before I was in any relationship, when I was in no relationships, when I was single, all right, I thought there were probably like, God, it doesn't detective shows. Now I know there's more. Do you know how I know there's more? Because every time I will walk into that room when she is watching something, it's a detective show with a different main character. This guy's a detective that recently moved from small town into the big city, and everything's different, and he's gonna shake things up. This is a detective show about a mysterious mystery author who is doubling as a police officer consultant. This is a detective show about Satan, who actually left hell and got bored, so he decided to solve crimes with a badass female detective. This is a detective show, and every single one of them is the same. They're all identical. Every single one. They are literally all the same. But then I want to watch something gruesome. All right, anyway.
If it's about relationships under pressure, it's women who are tuning in to see it by and large. A great example of this is actually Taylor Swift, believe it or not. A huge part of her appeal.
Shout out to Taylor Swift on getting married. Invest in wedding rings now because that stock is skyrocketing.
I think, is that her music deals with these very issues. Yeah. And in a high-profile way with...
The divorce album is gonna bang!
High-profile people that puts a little mystery and a little intrigue into the listening experience.
Yeah.
This is why you have women hosting entire listening parties to decipher what her lyrics mean. Oh I'm not kidding, guys. This woman gets engaged and it's all over my feed. It's all I have seen today. If you were to walk into a room of 20 women watching a romance movie and you said to them, hey ladies, in the next room, I'm gonna play a movie of superheroes beating the...
You see a bunch of women watching a fucking, romance movie and you're like, hey, in the next room, I'm gonna be playing Smash Brothers. Anyone wanna join?
Crap out of each other. Maybe one or two of them would leave to go and watch your violent superhero movie. If you were to do the same thing to a room of 20 men watching a romance movie, then you have probably walked into the wrong room and you should probably leave before things get weird.
The faggots are there.
But let's say hypothetically these were just regular dudes and you
every single one of those people would get takedown banned on Twitch.
For them the opportunity to watch a superhero movie, I am betting that the majority of them would probably leave to go with you. Why, you might be wondering? Well, because the average man probably doesn't want to watch two people fall in love, but he would want to watch a super person punch another super person into a building.
I mean, to be honest, that does sound pretty exciting. But no, I definitely want to see two people fall in love, 100%. And then I want everything to go terribly and horribly wrong, if possible. Okay, I want to see two people fall in love, and then Griffith shows up and sacrifices your love to the fucking endless abyss, and you slice your own arm off to fight an endless battle against a demon that raped her in front of your very eyes, so you could chase him down and fight him, ripping him apart for revenge. That sounds pretty great. So I do like a good love story. I like it wrapped up in a little more, if you know what I'm saying.
Disney took this well-established idea and decided
I hear there was this great wedding in Game of Thrones.
Try to push a square peg of femininity into a round hole of masculinity. I know that analogy sounds incredibly weird, but I can't think of a better way to articulate it. They tried to appeal to a sense of anti-male sentiment that was popular in social justice circles in movies where it didn't need them, thinking they could make masculine brands appeal to women, thus widening their audience pool. Yeah. Then they were surprised when women still didn't want to watch and men stopped showing up. The man who chased...
Her analysis is good. I think the glaring flaw here that she missed in her entire video throughout is that it is malicious. It is malicious. Money cannot be the explanation here when they have made so many decisions that are just basically antithetical to making money. So I agree with the things she's saying, except for the motivation. The motivation's evil.
This is two rabbits catches neither. Did no one at Disney ever read Confucius? I mean, I don't read Confucius, but I do know that one. Ultimately, damn. I think that Disney's missteps with Gen Z men highlight one really crucial thing, and that is you cannot build a loyal, dedicated audience by lecturing them or sidelining the stories that they love. Yeah, no Franchises shit. Like Marvel and Star Wars thrived on having epic adventures and great relatable heroes and characters, not corporate feminism and other weird social justice initiatives being shoved into everything. I think all of Disney's failures over the last number of years...
And it's people telling you how to think. It's like literally just shoving the shit down your throat, telling you what you have to think and what you have to accept and what your life has to be like. And like, dude, you are not my mom. You are fucking entertainment. You exist because I pay for you. You work for me. I don't work for you. And people are waking up, and it's so nice to see. It's so nice to see these fucking giant corporate juggernauts actually just self-destructing.
Either at the box office or on their streaming platform really demonstrate that people are gravitating aggressively away from politically motivated, politically driven stories. And like I already mentioned...
And again, I'm all good with like political stories. Like, you know, Game of Thrones is very political. No issues with that. But like, the idea is when it's literally basic modern day social politics, specifically where it picks one side as the good side and the other side as the bad side, and then it wants to shove it down your throat. All right? Like, I remember when there was like Black Lives Matter protests referenced in Hollywood movies, and it's so fucking tiring, guys. It really is.
It's not that Gen Z men aren't interested in consuming media. They are. They're just not interested in consuming this kind of media. And honestly, Disney's pivot towards looking for new IP.
We call it propaganda, all right? Men are happy to consume media. Men do not want to consume propaganda. An entire generation of men have been disenfranchised by this propaganda push that everything in society became. Everything became propaganda. All of it. The media's propaganda. Locking you at your home in COVID was propaganda. Everyone knows that the government was lying to you, that the media was lying to you, that the fucking movies that were being made at the time were lying to you. I don't know if any of you watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine as an example. I don't know why this is the one that popped into my head. But the final season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, okay, which is it's a show about cops, obviously. It's a show about police that are going out there and they're catching bad guys and doing what police do. The final season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine was essentially entirely anti-cop propaganda about how cops are secretly racist and about how when a black person gets arrested, it more often than not is racial profiling. And even the good cops, even the good white cops that think that they're good people just fighting, they have internalized racism, and that's why they arrest black people more than other people. Now, this is literally, I shit you not, the entire final season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Now, it was a funny show. It was a good show until that point. You know, a solid, 8.5 out of 10. All right, no one was complaining that Captain Holt was a gay black man. No one gave a shit. No one called it woke. No one cared. And then the final season rolled around. It was overt political messaging, and it, in my opinion, absolutely defecated on its legacy without a shadow of a doubt. It really is. Now, we're not getting into crime statistics and stuff like that because that's not the point of the video. But, yeah, we're living in that era. I don't want to be lectured. I don't want you to give me your propaganda, especially because I think you're wrong.
And new and original stories to tell is definitely a step in the right direction. But rebuilding trust and getting people back on side means actually listening to fans and not simply dismissing them as toxic.
I am giving you the answer. By the way, in case anyone at Disney's watching, they're not, because they're all narcissistic 60-year-old white women that are liberals that are upset at men because they're alone and didn't have a dick inside them for months or years, and now they are, you know, resigned to dying alone to infect another generation of women about how they should also be sad so they can share their misery with other people. But if any of you guys are actually watching this and making this far, I am giving you the solution. The solution is properly adapting Warhammer 40k, making it fucking brutal, violent, and manly as fuck. You will win the culture war. You will literally be so back. You will make billions. That is just an example of an adaptation off the top of my head, but it literally would work. Same with Berserk. You fucking put put Game of Thrones levels of fuck you money into a live adaptation of Berserk even, and you actually fucking follow the manga every single brutal scene, you will make a masterpiece. You will, because it's a story of a manly, badass motherfucker. A man that's not just a pure posh goody two-shoes little bitch. Actually fucking kick some ass. And I don't know, man. Like, we need stories like this. And they don't care.
In the end, I am genuinely glad to see that Disney seems to be trying to find new stories, but all of it will be for naught if they can't abandon the social justice mindset.
Put a chick in it, make her lame and gay.
An agenda that has driven them so far. So I do think it's time for the company to rediscover the magic of its storytelling by making movies and shows that appeal to everybody while not preaching at anyone. Now on that note, and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder to check out Vtube using the link in the description. They've obviously been a long-time supporter of this channel, but if this is something that you struggle with, absolutely check them out and see if they might be a good alternative in helping you stop your bad habit.
Good video.
Now I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Is this
gay? Gay! Woo! Mega gay! Huge gay! Huge gay! Subscribe if you're not gay. Or even if you are gay, but you want to subscribe and want more content for some reason. That would be really great also. All right, that's my response. My response is be a little less gay. All right? Embrace the fact that, you know, most men are attracted to women, and that a healthy family is a child that is looking up to a father and a mother in their life. And how you can cry and squeal and scream, but that's the best. That's goated. It's what God intended, and it honestly, hilariously enough, after endless amounts of research being done, it turns out that basic biblical values just do make people the happiest. I know, it's boring, but it's true. Bye. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.